Hey folks, welcome back to WarThunder. Today I decided to take out the P47 N-15 in Sim to try and get it spaded. Mainly because, as a console noob, I can't play IL-2 Great Battles, and the Thunderbolts, well one of them anyway, just got added to that, and I've been watching a load of videos on it, and it just made me want to play a P47, so I had been playing quite a lot of the D28, but there wasn't a 3.7 to 4.7 BR match running, so I had to up it to the 5.0 and 6.3 I think it is event. And I don't have a P47 in that range, so I just used this 4.7 one as my main thing and kind of up-tiered myself, but it wasn't a very full game. And if you stick to altitude, then in Sim most planes can overcome most others anyway, so it's mostly a question of tactics and strategy and planning and stuff like that. So yeah, I took off with I think 35 minutes of fuel, maybe. Climbed to altitude, and I initially head out to go and take out the surveillance plane, which I just did. Encountered that 109 on the way, but he dived away to get away from me. I'm not sure where he went, but he was way too low to cause a threat to me. And then I've just seen some traces off in the distance, and a enemy ME410 just got killed down here, so I'm going to head down and see if I can find him. You can see the traces going off there. Alright, so that dot that's shooting right now is confirmed a 109 G6. So I'm just going to keep my eye on that and try and set up for a shot on it. I really don't know where any of those shots went. It should be impossible for him to fly through that without getting hit. But we've got the speed, so just take it back up and come back around. There's not going to be much he can do. Whenever you've got the energy on someone, you've got to try and pull them up and then turn around above them so that they've got to pull up even higher to keep their guns on you, and it makes them stall out. And then if you don't fuck up your shots, you can usually pick them off quite easily. And that's him dead. So after every engagement, I want to check surroundings, make sure you're not being followed, and then immediately go back for altitude, because this thing can actually climb pretty well, but at low energy, if you get caught, then you are absolutely fucked. So you got to keep the altitude up. And again, I've got an altitude advantage on this guy and an energy advantage. I think this guy's just slowly trying to catch up to me after he saw me take down his teammate. Pardon me. So again, I'm going to turn in on him and get right above him, because then he's got to pull up even higher to get guns on. It causes him to stall out that bit quicker. I'm going to engage all my flaps. I'm getting quite lucky that he's not hitting me here. And then there's two I just spotted. So what I'm going to do is ignore the guy that was shooting at me and try and get this other one. And then I'm going to boom through the dive and use it to run away from the guy that's on my 6. Couldn't get guns on that one, unfortunately, and I'm not sticking around any longer, because if I manoeuvre against that one, then the 109 behind me will definitely be able to get guns on. But I can outdive the 109. My top speed is much higher than his. So I'm hitting the deck, shallow angle, so that I can make the most of the energy gain. Friendly tells me to come to him, and I look on the map and he's over here, so I'm heading right at him. Key to these things in Sim is to constantly keep pinging the map with your position, because it's not easy to locate dots without a grid ref. Although in this instance all these traces will be making that guy a pretty obvious target, so friendly's right level with me now. There he goes, top of the screen, to the right. He's looping in on the guy, so I'm going to keep eyes on until I see him break, and then I'm going to immediately turn around. There he goes, right. Loop it over so I get some altitude back. So that's the P-51. There's the 109. Not going to follow him directly, I need to keep the energy up. I can't afford to burn it all in high G turns. The guy who came to my rescue crashed, unfortunately, but I think he must have hit this guy because he is just bleeding off energy like crazy. And he's not attempting to pursue me. In hindsight, I should have probably let him just crash, because it would have given the guy that saved me the kill, and I think he deserved it for helping me, but I thought it was kind of what's the word, poetic that I get to kill the guy that was trying to kill me, and I couldn't help myself, so sorry P-51, but I had to do it. So again, right now I'm going for the surveillance plane, which you can see up ahead, maybe, if YouTube doesn't butcher the quality, and then I get a friendly ping off to my right asking for backup. It might even be that P-51 from earlier. Should have probably paid more attention to the kill feed before. But initially I wasn't going to go and help because I thought it might be too far away, but the map ping said it was actually at a couple of, I think it was at around 1,000 meters altitude. And so I thought I'd be able to, well, I don't know really, it just made more sense to me to attack something that's on the same rough altitude as I am, because it means I don't have to burn off too much energy dealing with it, because I did hope to go back and get the surveillance plane again afterwards. This guy is unwittingly setting me up perfectly for taking this 109 down. Just booming through back towards the runway, get some distance from the front line before making the climb for altitude. Don't want to climb too quick because you'll burn off your energy, and if someone's still close to you, which they're likely to be on the front line, then you'll be fucked. So right now I've dived in because I saw white traces, which usually are German, but I forgot that I was playing at a higher tier, and it actually ended up being a friendly Corsair. And they actually killed the target before I got here completely, so it was kind of a waste. But then I spot this thing, which is a enemy bomber, and I still had a lot of energy from the dive, so I just looped it over, get right on its tail. Getting pretty good with these stealth bolts. I'm not sure what range this is, but I've got them set for 500 meters convergence with vertical targeting on, and seems to be doing me a lot of good. so friendly calls for help, and I know from previously looking at the map that I am actually in the grid square that he's calling from, and by the altitude I know he's going to be in front of me somewhere and below me, and I spot 2 dots crossing the lake now, or river I should say. Completely bodged this approach because I shouldn't have pulled ahead of him so much. I thought he was going to pop up right in front of me, but I screwed it up. There he is, but I'm not going to get around in time, unfortunately. Tell him sorry in chat, but if I hadn't fucked up that initial approach, I should have throttled down more and delayed my split S, I think is the one way you go down. Turns out that the surveillance plane is still there, so I'm on the last 5 minutes of fuel and I've down to like the last 900 or so rounds, so I'm going to burn off the rest of my ammo. And then I'm going to go and land, and it just works out well that my WEP actually runs out right around now as well. So on a 40-odd minute tank, I think it was, maybe 35 or 45 minutes, I forget now. But and you only have limited WEP. This has got that like water injected WEP like what the P51H has, and I managed to just managed to just time it all perfectly with the sortie. So used all my fuel, used all my ammo. And I know it's dead, but I've got ammo to burn, so... Oh, I'm glad there's no collision physics on the bits of planes you shot down. So the last minute or so is going to be just a landing, so I'm coming in for a sort of buzz the runway. Throttle off. Slow wide back to set me up for final. The most satisfying thing about flying in this game, or really at all I think, is just you sort of gain this innate ability to just you just get such a good sense of what your energy state is that I knew that if I turned my engine to, the throttle right back at that point, that if I turned like so hard and took so long to do it, that I'd just manage to time it so that I'd be right at the state that I wanted by the time I got to the runway for touchdown. And there's things like that just make it so rewarding to fly in sim. And I mean, you can do it in RB too, but when you're actually controlling the plane and not a cursor, it just makes it feel that much better. Pretty good landing for me. Then I had to go and fuck it up by braking too hard and making it look silly. But there we go, engine off. Wait for the propeller to stop spinning and then we'll cut the tape. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed, then leave a like, a comment, all that, subscribe for more, and hopefully I will see you on the next one. Cheers.